Well, good morning, guys. It's been almost 20 hours since I saw you last, since I poured all my resin, glitter, alcohol inks, and powdered pigments into their molds. I've already removed a few. I wanted to show you that it is relatively easy to get or to remove this stuff here, the caulk, from your acetate paper, so you can reuse it if you wish to pour more molds. I forgot to tell you in the previous videos that I am using RTG countertop bar tabletop epoxy. It's two-part epoxy, 1-to-1, and it works really well. It gets super hard. This one will, these will have still to go 2 more coats, one on the top side in which I undo these because there's a little bit of a lip, which I will take a little bit of sandpaper here. If it has a rough edge on it, like this one has a rough edge, I don't know if you can see the little bit of a lip on there, but you can just run it across and around them to level that out a bit before you actually pour your epoxy. It's still going to have a little bit of a lip on it, so when you pour your resin in, it won't flow over the sides. The first ones that I did, these here, I actually took the silver, Pinata Silver Metallic, and took a paintbrush and went around the edges. These here, I just haven't done this one yet, but these, I just took a silver Sharpie. I wanted to see how they would, I got ums in me today. I'm sorry, guys. Not sure I'm quite awake yet. It's a little chilly here in North Carolina. Yesterday it was almost 60 degrees. Right now it's in the 30s. So those kind of swings in temperatures kind of mess with you, don't they? But anyways, this seems to work really well, just going around the edges of it. You can see the silver on the edges. So they all turned out okay. This one still has quite a bit of a lip on it. So I will sand around. I'm just turning it as I go. I'm not hitting one flat spot. I'm rotating it as I run across the sandpaper. There's a few places that need to be cleaned up. You can use your X-Acto knife. I have to get pretty close to it to do that, but you can cut them off with that. I will probably do that before I do the last coat of epoxy on the back side to make sure it's all cleaned up. For right now, they're okay the way they are, just to pour the epoxy in. So those are those. These were my leftover resin from yesterday, so I put them in this 4-inch silicone mold, and I added some fireplace glass, and glitter, and just all of the different resins that I had in the little cups that I had. And this is what they turned out like. They're really super pretty. The bottom sides. The top sides I will take and I will pour a top coat of epoxy on it. I don't know if you can see it or not, but I have a few pieces of glass that are risen up there, so I will be wanting to cover those up. But those are those. So they turned out really pretty, just from the leftovers. I don't like to waste anything. These here are the ones that I put the second coat on with my the silicone brush, just to clean up some rough areas. So they turned out really pretty. If you can see them here, but they're really, really pretty. I'll lay those there, and I will show you the necklaces that I got finished. I did the wiring and put the jump rings on, and did the rope necklaces from Amazon. My jump rings came from Amazon. I believe everything that I use in this video came from Amazon. Here's the other ones that I have complete. So they're really kind of very cool. The RTG 2-part epoxy came from Amazon. My jump rings came from Amazon. My glitter came from Walmart. All of my alcohol inks came from Amazon. My torch came from Amazon. I think everything that I used in making my red matte kitchen supplies in Walmart. My X-Acto knife, Amazon. Okay, I'm done with the sell ads, haha. Anyways, so this caulk silicone, I'm going to tell you, is not my favorite because it doesn't really dry on the center, so it makes it really difficult to get these things off. Even though I let them set for several hours before I poured, it is still wet. So the process of removing the caulk silicone has to be with water, and I used an old paintbrush after I cleaned them up as much as I could. So I dipped them in cold water using a paintbrush to clean up the edges. I'm not going to bore you with that process, but I know the next time that I make these freeform geodes of any kind, I will be using straight clear silicone, so it will not stick. All of this white here will come off with a toothbrush and water. So there's what that looks like when you just first pull it out. I did one with the center already, I believe. This one here is the one that I put the silicone caulk in the center, and it took a little bit of work with the a toothbrush to remove all of the caulking. It really surprises me that this does not dry, because when I tested it before I poured my resins, I touched the edges of it and it's dry. So I don't know, maybe the epoxy resin messes with it, makes it wet again. I'm not sure. But anyways, there's that process. Next time I do it, I will try just plain clear silicone. I'll set these off to the side because I'm not gonna mess with that. But I will be back in a flash with these all cleaned up and ready to pour the resin on the top coat to round it all off.